Hi guys, Funky here, Skill Street Garage, and today's project is the Nash Rambler. It's a dinky car from 1960 to 1967, and this was the Canadian Fire Chief car. As you'll see, it's been well played with, plenty of play wear on there. It's unfortunately got a broken rear screen, but I was to find out later on that that's actually due to manufacture and not from rough playing. It's not in too bad condition. It's still got its original tyres, which is good considering it's 50 years old. There's just the one rivet post in the front on this one. I'm using a Dremel tool there just to burr off the top of it to hollow it out, just so I could get a drill in there. I could have used the centre punch, but I chose not to on this one. Comes apart nice and easy. I love how they've fixed the back end of this. It's actually it's like a sliding hinge. It's really clever how that's done. I did like that. The base is slightly bent, but it's in really good condition. And the glass is held in with a rivet, but I'm not going to try drilling the rivet off because this is rounded again. Now this was a bit unusual. In the front it says Nash Rambler, and on the glass it says American Rambler. So I don't know if anyone can enlighten me on that one. I've tried doing a search for American Rambler, but nothing came up. My only assumption was that because it was an AMC, American Motor Company, that they put American Rambler on there instead of shortening it to AMC Rambler by mistake. Just use the Dremel there to go around the actual rivet. I find it's easier to do that than to try and draw the roof out. So the rear screen, when you look, it's got a moulding mark on there, so that's actually what's caused it to break. Simply push the emergency beacon out with the centre punch, spring loaded one. It pops it out nice and easy. So the base was a little bit bent, a couple of little twists in it, but that soon straightens out nice and easy. The base on this is in fantastic condition. It really is. The tyres I was a little bit cautious of, so you'll see I'm edging up, going around making sure there's no cracks in them or anything. Like I say, for 50 years old or 50 plus years old, they're in pretty good condition. And the biggest problem I had here was that the axle was actually bent, so I couldn't actually get it through the hub to allow me to Dremel it, so I've had to just use some close cutters there just to try and lift the axle through the hub, just so I've got enough space to get the Dremel on, and luckily it worked. The other axle was fine, and so that one came off nice and easy. Just straighten the axle out just using a pair of pliers, and it's straightened pretty easy really, to be honest. Just going around it just to try and get as straight as what I can. The usual, put them into the chuck of a drill and just use a bit of wet and dry just to clean all the rust off and the pitting off. Bring them up like new, nice and easy, nice and quickly. I think we all do this for an idea now. Into the poor man's washing machine. In go the tyres, and in goes the glass, and give it a wibble wobble. and we'll put that to one side and let it soak. As you'll see, just using a bit of Scotch cloth there just to try and bring up this aluminium on these, because these are aluminium spun wheels, and they come up lovely. They come up like brand spanking new. Absolutely beautiful. I don't know if you've noticed there, guys, I'm just using the spring idea again. Just put a little bit of pressure on there so that the hub will spin, but if it catches, it'll just stop. It doesn't rip your fingers off and nothing. It's probably the safest way to do it, and they come up looking beautiful. So this base, I haven't even painted it, guys. I've gone over it with this wire brush, and I'm going to leave it as play worn. I'm going to leave the character and charm with this one. I really am. I don't think there's any need to paint it whatsoever. So the paint is coming off the bodywork, and I'm going to use the old caustic soda in as Rob would say, in a foot-long sausage jar, and the paint come off lovely and easy. In fact, it came off the easiest that any have ever come off for me on that one. And the condition of this Zamak is absolutely, I was amazed. I really was. Look at that, just a couple of seconds going over with the old wire attachment, and it's pristine again. It's absolutely pristine. I couldn't believe it. There's a couple of little play marks and dents and knocks in there, and a couple of cast lines in there that I actually do remove. But other than that, it's in absolutely beautiful condition. Giving the old screen a clean. I'm giving the tyres a clean off as well. Pardon me. I was thinking about what should I do with this back window, and I wasn't too sure. You can see the moulding line where it's been taken off the stalk, when it was actually originally made. And what's happened is the pressure of being inside the car has actually just cracked the screen. So it's a manufacturer's fault, unfortunately. So I'm decided I'm going to cut the back window out and replace it. So just using the rotary tool once again. I'm using a flexible extension on this one. It makes it a lot easier. It's a little bit more precise. Just marking out now and a little bit of. This is only the plastic off a car bubble, to be honest, off the packaging. So it's not thick or anything like that. And this one's for my own personal collection, as always. So I'm going to be happy with it. It will look great on my shelf, or should I say inside the cabinet. Just making sure as it fits. I was quite happy how it looked. Like I said, there is a couple of little marks on this, just where it's been bumped and banged over the years. It's bound to happen. Thrown across the room and in and out of toy boxes and kicked across the floor and stood on, and don't bear to think about it, does it? So I'm just going to get those off, and like I said, there was two little tiny casting marks, but they were next to nothing. And once again, just going for the Tamiya acrylic paints. Absolutely love these. And I didn't want this going off super fast, so I've just thinned it down with isopropyl alcohol 99.9%. I can get a nice lovely finish, and it does dry quite quickly, but it's not a few minutes, it's like 30 minutes to an hour, and it's completely dry. Lovely shine on there. No need for any clear coat on this one. And what I'm doing now is I'm just adjusting a rivet. I've taken the aluminium end off a rivet, as I'm going to be using to hold it together, and filling the centre up with a little bit of super glue there, or CA glue, and good old baking soda, just to dry it out quickly. And now what I'm doing is I'm just rounding it off so as it looks a little bit more like the original rivet. Now I'm just going to paint it grey, taking this idea from David Hyde. He does beautiful restoration work. If you haven't watched his channel, take a look. Amazing stuff he does. Now for the decals. Once again, these are the black square decals. I'm not overly happy with them. I noticed with the T-Wagon that the graphics were very large, and I've noticed with this as well that the graphics are far too big. Far too big. I would say they're probably a third too big, a third of the size again on top, and they literally just about fit on the door, and there should be a nice little border going all the way around. But they literally just fit in the door lines. I wasn't very happy. If this was a true restoration, then I would be absolutely spitting feathers. I would be contacting them saying, look, sort your bloody act out, because this ain't right. But I've let it go for this one, but I'll be honest, I doubt I'll use them again. I doubt I'll use that company again now. I do like their graphics, their decals, because they're nice and thin. So if you have got to put any clear coat over, it hides it perfectly, and you can hardly tell there's any decals on there. But it's just the fact that they're just not like the true size of the originals. So time to put the wheels back on. We're slowly getting there. So I mean, guys, that's beautiful, that base, isn't it? Absolutely lovely. I love it. Usual way of putting these axles back is the Martin method. I use an old drill bit that I heated up, drilled the end out, then reheated it and quenched it again to harden the steel off, and that works absolutely fantastic. As you can see, it takes no time at all, even just by using a normal little battery hand drill, not using a bench drill. Just make sure I've got the wheels the right way around. And just making sure I've actually got the manufacturer's end on the same sides. Just so they both match, they both look exactly the same. And when it's sitting on the shelf or in a cabinet, and you look across, and both axles are actually identical. There's nothing worse than having one way and one the other. I was quite surprised how soft these axles were, considering the actual thickness of them. Now for these tyres. once again, just being a little bit cautious putting these on. I did actually put a little tiny bit of grease on them just to make them go over nice and easy, and hopefully to retain a little bit of that rubbiness of them, just hopefully regenerate just a little bit. Now it's time to put the glass back in, and what you'll see I'm using here, guys, is a UV activated acrylic putty, and this is the same stuff as what the women use on the acrylic fingernails. It's what they use as a building agent, so if they want to make it nice and thick, they put it on, whack it under the UV, and it sets like concrete, ready for them to bite off the next day. That's quite good because it's quite gloopy. If you want it thinner, just put the actual tube in warm water and it goes nice and thin. But I like it nice and sticky, so you can put it where you want it and it stays there. And a little bit of UV. Don't take very long. Anything from between 10 and 30 seconds is plenty. There's that lovely great hinge again. It's a fantastic way to keep that back end in one place. Another question for you guys, any of you that do these restorations, on the rear end of the base plate there, you'll see a great big hole. Any ideas what it's for, guys? Any ideas at all? I have noticed it's on all of them, looking through the net, but I can't find any reason what the hole is actually there for. I don't know if it was just for holding it down in the packaging or whatever. I'm lost. Don't know. So like I say, if anybody's got any ideas of why it says Nash Rambler on the car and American Rambler on the glass, and what that hole is there for, I'd love some feedback on it if anybody actually knows what it's for, please. And now for that grey rivet to hold it all together, and it actually looks like one of the original rivet posts now. Like I say, I pinched that idea from David Hyde from his restorations, and I think it looks absolutely spot on now. So thank you, David, for that one. Last thing to do now is just put the beacon back on, and there's no need to glue this. It's a lovely tight fit. That's it all back together. Now just a little bit of detail on this one. I'm going for the Tamiya silver. I've noticed a lot of people are doing the restorations and they're using the Molotov chrome pen. Dinky didn't use Molotov chrome pens, so I'm not going to use one. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say it's right. I'm not going to say it's wrong. I'm just going to say I'm not going to use it. I use them all the time for the custom work. I think they're absolutely fantastic. They're superb invention. A little bit on the pricey side, but I think they're a great little thing. And there we go. I absolutely love this, guys. Quick recap of what it looked like beforehand. All play worn and losing a lot of its paint. I actually did well. I got this one for 50 pence from a charity shop, so I was over the moon. And it was only last week I picked this one up, and I've just wanted to do it. I absolutely love this casting. I think it's gorgeous. And there we go, guys. All like new again. Shame about the glass, but it's one of those things. Now I couldn't get another one, and I thought, you know what? The only thing that this is missing really now is a box. So I jumped on the internet. I downloaded some images, and I put them all into Paint Shop Pro, and I came up with it. There we go. I actually did do a box. I couldn't not do really. I just love this model so much. I absolutely love this little car. So this was what I started doing. I started my channel to do restoration work, and it's only thanks to the great diecast lads. They're all a fantastic bunch, and they've got me into doing all these blooming customs. I love doing my restorations, and I've got loads coming up. But I will be honest, I also love doing the custom builds. In fact, my next one's a custom. That's it for this one. A massive thanks to all my subscribers, old and new. Keep tuning in, guys. Please like, share, subscribe if you haven't. Plenty more coming up. Cheers for watching, everyone. Bye.